If you look at your feed right now, it feels like a new wave of software is burying your desk. The marketing claims are aggressive. Adopt these tools immediately, or your career is obsolete by the end of the year. Specifically, 5 tools are dominating the conversation right now: Sora 2, Veo 3.1, Grok, Cursor, and Notebook LM. But here is the problem. If you try to adopt all of these at once, you will fracture your existing workflows and drain your API budget in a matter of weeks. This transition from 2025 to 2026 is driven by a change in how software behaves, the rise of the agentic workflow. A generalist chatbot waits for you to ask a question. An agentic tool acts on your behalf. But these agentic tools require you to change how you manage your daily tasks. This chart maps where these tools actually land, between a useless tech demo and a workflow revolution. We are ignoring the viral social media posts. Instead, we are evaluating these 5 tools based strictly on hard lab data, academic testing, and actual API generation costs. Achieving efficiency gains means you have to stop looking for one single perfect tool. You need to identify exactly which piece of software solves your specific daily bottleneck. Let's start with an expensive bottleneck in tech: front-end web development and building components. Cursor AI is heavily marketed with a massive promise that it will double your coding speed and replace your traditional IDE plugins entirely. In a Next.js lab test, Cursor was 45% faster than VS Code. This speed comes from Composer, editing multiple files simultaneously for complex refactors. By indexing your entire codebase, it also prevents app router syntax hallucinations. But this speed requires a trade-off. You have to learn a prompt-first workflow, and you have to trust an AI to make sweeping code-base-wide edits without breaking your architecture. For enterprise teams worried about security, Cursor relies on a strict privacy mode, which prevents your proprietary code from being stored or used to train future models. For developers working in React or Next.js, that 45% efficiency gain suggests a high return on investment if you are willing to leave your VS Code habits behind. Now we look at the primary bottleneck for creators: generating high-quality B-roll and commercial footage. Sora 2 and Veo 3.1 both launched with the exact same promise. You type a single text prompt, and out pops a flawless, production-ready commercial. But you need to factor in the API costs. A single 1080p generation in Sora 2 Pro costs roughly 7,000 credits. Running these tools at scale is expensive. When we tested them, Veo 3.1 showed clear, verified strengths. Take a look at this footage. Veo excels at macro product photography, capturing complex lighting and natively generating synchronized audio directly into the clip. However, Veo 3.1 has a critical operational flaw. It struggles with object permanence. If a subject interacts with a product, you will frequently see bottles or items spontaneously disappear completely mid-shot. Sora 2, on the other hand, strictly obeys the rules of physics. It handles character consistency and even comedic timing far better than Veo. But Sora 2 has its own flaws. The base model outputs a blurry 720p image, and it frequently generates disjointed cuts that try to masquerade as a single continuous camera movement. This side-by-side matrix shows what these tools are actually good for in a professional setting. Veo gives you great audio, but loses track of objects. Sora gets the physics right, but sacrifices resolution. You cannot fire your video team. These are capable, expensive asset generators, but they still require heavy human post-production to become usable content. Finally, we turn to the bottleneck for strategists and researchers: information overload and the constant demand for real-time market intelligence. Grok's primary advantage is structural. It has ambient, real-time access to the LiveX data stream, pulling public conversations hours or days before they hit traditional search indexes. But Grok is essentially a rapid aggregator. It lacks the deep reasoning, coding sandboxes, and long-form writing capabilities you find in Claude or GPT-4o. If Grok handles the live feed, Notebook LM handles the dense static PDFs. Its viral audio overviews feature is everywhere. The promise of Notebook LM is that it transforms dry material into engaging conversational podcasts, lowering the barrier to comprehension. To see if this actually works for rigorous analysis, we looked at a study from the KTH Royal Institute of Technology, where researchers evaluated Notebook LM's accuracy on their own scientific papers. This chart from the study shows how researchers rated the tool's factual integrity. The high cluster of 4 scores confirms the AI is generally accurate, but it frequently adopts an overly informal tone and strips away critical scientific nuance. Look at this second chart measuring comprehensiveness. You can see outliers who rated it a 2. The audio format forces structural compromises. The AI hosts repeat points, they skip over academic assumptions, and you cannot interrupt them to ask clarifying questions. Grok and Notebook LM are excellent supplementary tools. They are perfect for initial aggregation, but relying on them to replace primary research or finalize a citation is a risk. Navigating 2026 effectively isn't about finding one master application. It requires allocating specific tools to the exact friction points in your day. We plotted these tools balancing effort against daily impact. For web developers, Cursor is a high learning curve daily driver. For video creators, Sora and Veo are plug-and-play but remain niche. For strategists, Grok and Notebook LM are plug-and-play but require chaining for deep analysis. Stop chasing the viral hype, protect your workflows, and only adopt the specific AI tool that actively removes friction from your desk.